Motor oil. Killing Jedi. Promotion from Count Dooku. I wonder if that's what the droids have to think to fly. This is on the wings of Keeradaks. And this episode, not much happened. It was pretty straightforward. It was basically them escaping the fortress with Echo. Actually, this arc is starting to remind me a lot of the Citadel arc where they had to rescue Tarkin, and there was an episode of them breaking in, there was an episode of them breaking out, except there's a bit more going on here. But yeah, I mean, they basically break out, the Separatists send some forces to attack them, but they fight them off, and then they leave the planet. It wasn't really much of an episode. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know, I feel like for what we were... there's still one more episode left, keep that in mind, and anything could happen in the final episode, but just for an episode about bringing back Echo, I feel like it... the writer, Brent, said the real surprise isn't that Echo's alive, it's how he survived and what that means, and we didn't really get any of that. Again, it was just them breaking out, which, again, it wasn't bad, it's just, I kind of want a bit more substance outside of them just getting out. The action scene of them escaping and them flying around, that really intense battle in the native camp, all of it really well done, but I felt like there wasn't enough moral themes. I'm not saying there were some good stuff. They went back to this theme of neutrality that the Clone Wars loves to bring in, of good people who don't necessarily want to ally themselves with one or the other, and we have both sides of the coin for that. We have a group of I forget the name of them, Wat Tambers people who are allying them with the Separatists because it benefits them for profit's sake, and then you have the natives who are sort of forced into that, and this kind of reminds me of the Lima arc when they encounter those natives who just don't want to be in either side, and then the Separatists attack and they're forced to side with the Republic. And I do kind of like how this time they just one speech and they're on there. We don't really drag it out that long, but at the same time, I felt like it did sort of make it rush. If they're really that neutral, I don't know, it just felt a little quick to me. And I did also like the theme of property, like the fact that, is Echo property of the Republic still? He was left for dead. He was discarded by the Republic. And then the Separatists found him and claimed him. So is he technically the property of the Separatists? There's that interesting theme that's explored, and I honestly feel like it's not touched upon enough. And I really hope in the final episode there's some sort of repercussions about Echo, and is he still part of the Republic, or is he technically Separatist property? I feel like there's a really interesting dynamic to explore there, and it really would have added a bit more tension here, because here was just action, 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 which, again, it was fun and it was fine, but, again, that wasn't really enough. There was a lot of action in the Anakin Obi-Wan arc we saw last time, but amidst that, we had a lot of really nice character moments and stuff, and we really didn't get any of that in this episode. So yeah, it wasn't a bad episode, it was fun, but it was really action-packed. There wasn't really a lot of character dynamics. This is probably, the weakest episode of the arc. And when I say weak, I don't mean bad. By the standards, on its own, this is a good episode. But, in comparison to the other episodes of the arc, in comparison to the quality I've come to see and expect from the Clone Wars, I wanted to see a bit more outside of a fun little action episode. Again, it's a good episode, it's just, I don't know. You brought Echo back! I want to see something interesting happen with that. But, yeah, there's one more episode left, Unfinished Business, and I'm interested to see how this ends up. I really hope there's something happens. I'm hoping at least... First off, I'm surprised no one in Bad Batch died. They had this huge raid in the Citadel, and I'm really surprised no one died. There was that moment when they're escaping from the room where Echo is held, and they're throwing down the grenades. I thought for sure one of those guys was... The guy throwing down grenades was dead, but... We'll see. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how this episode ends. And leave your thoughts below. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe. This is JStar60. And may the Force be with you, and hopefully it'll be with the final episode. So until then, I'll see you guys later.